All right. That was President Trump speaking at the World Economic Forum here in Davos just a few minutes ago. We want to get reaction now to President Trump's speech. We want to bring in Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. Good to see you, Secretary.
Good to see you, Maria.
We've been debating the president's policies, and obviously we're seeing an impact on the economy and on wages. Your take on what you just heard from the president, as well as that pushback from Philip Jennings.
Well, I thought the president's speech was remarkable. It was measured. It covered all the issues, made totally clear his policies on everything. He made clear America first, but not America alone. That's a very big and important statement. He made clear free trade, but fair and reciprocal trade. Made clear he believes in international order, welcoming everybody into it. I thought it was a very, very powerful speech.
You know, it was interesting because the president really was elected largely because of the forgotten men and women out there. Absolutely. And yet, you know, we heard a moment ago that these people are living paycheck to paycheck, and he's actually not addressing that. But I think that that's exactly what he was trying to address.
They're not only trying, he's succeeded.
Exactly, yeah.
2.6 million Americans have gotten at least a $1,000 check from their employer saying specifically it was because of the tax cuts. And that's before and without reference to the reduction in withholding that'll start showing up in February.
Right.
But I think what's happening, the extreme left, including Mr. Jennings that you had on before, they've run out of facts, so now they're trying fiction. But eventually, facts will overwhelm fiction.
Well, I think it's a good point, because I think that the Democrats are going to have to explain why they voted against the tax plan. Right. Come November in the midterms, we're going to have have some answers as far as why the Democrats shut down the government.
Right. Well, it's going to take a very clever bit of language to convince somebody who just got more money in his or her pocket that it was a bad thing.
So the president went through the tax plan, talked about the strides America has made, went through the trade policies and what he's expecting. What is your take on this whole comment that he's willing to listen on TPP, willing to do deals with TPP if the deal changes? Is that?
Well, the reason that the president withdrew from TPP was not that he didn't want to do business with those other countries. He withdrew because the terms on which they wanted to do business were not adequate. There's a big difference between turning down a deal and turning down the other parties.
The president also talked about regulation, basically saying for every one regulation that's there, we're cutting 22 of them.
This is another issue. So far,
this is another issue that Philip Jennings had a problem with.
Well, I don't think overregulation helps anyone. No, anybody at all. Not a business person, not a worker.
I would argue that's probably the single biggest impact to economic growth.
Oh, sure. I think what really got the animal juices going and what the corporate mainstream and hiring people, it's no accident that we have the lowest record unemployment for African Americans, very low and very good record Hispanic Americans. These are part of the forgotten people. That while there was a lot of rhetoric under the prior administration, there really wasn't much done to help them.
Right.
They're now getting the benefits from it.
And then, of course, he rounded up with security, talked about ISIS being on the run, talked about an immigration policy that's changing.
Right. And it's necessary to have the change. Merit-based systems have worked pretty well in Canada. They've worked pretty well in Australia. No reason they can't work well here. And I think that's an important thing. People think the president is anti-immigration. He's not.
Yeah.
He's pro-immigration, but pro-sensible immigration, pro-immigration from people who will help build the country, not come here to do harm.
It took courage, I guess, to come here, for starters. So that was one message that he's giving the world, because he's been talking about America first in the face of all of the globalists here.
Yes. I think if it were a more evenly distributed audience, there would have been even a better response to it. But a lot of these people are so embedded in their thought that they cannot accept the idea that something different is not only being said, but is working, is producing record stock market, producing record consumer confidence, presuming records in a good direction everywhere.
Yeah.
Very important.
Secretary, I know you're going to be getting deep into NAFTA next couple of weeks. Your biggest priority in that regard?
similar to what the president said. There's nothing wrong with the idea of NAFTA, but it has to be fixed so that the benefits of it are more equitably distributed, both at present and going forward.
All right, we'll be watching the developments. Secretary Wilbur Ross, good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you, Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us.